As a writer, I guess my main concerns are, because I write mostly about teenagers, is thinking about the world from the point of view of young adults and teenagers and how the world changes around them and how they feel about it. I also think it's important to talk about what goes on in British society. So a lot of the time when I write, my characters are dealing with situations that reflect everyday life in Britain. I guess my writing is it's got quite an urban feel to it. I write about cities, so a lot of my writing is it's very simple. It's kind of plotted in a way that there's lots of action, lots of dialogue, and I like to represent real people in real cities. So I guess in that sense, it's not traditionally literary, but it is very much. It's fast-paced and hopefully quite sort of, it's full of action and quite immediate. It's quite in-your-face writing, and I think it's quite different, possibly to a lot of the stuff that you probably see, particularly in the children's and teenage market. My audience, I guess, is predominantly going to be the kind of people that I write about. So my idea was always as a writer, was to write the kind of stories that me and my friends would have read when we were teenagers. And I think that the people I'm talking about are going to be inner city teenagers that grow up in regular British communities, whether, from whatever cultural or racial background, and they're about multicultural Britain. So a large part of my audience, the core part of it, is going to be people who come from a similar background. So it's sort of multicultural writing, read in many cases by people who come from multicultural British cities like Leicester and Birmingham and places like that. So why Leicester is so successful as a multicultural city is something that people think about and talk about and speak about a lot. I'm not sure there's any one reason. I just think that on the whole, what's happened here is that people from different communities for many years have moved here. I'm not talking about just the last 50 years. And because they've settled well here and it's a relatively calm and relatively peaceful city, what happens is that when we have new communities move to the UK for the first time, they look at a city like Leicester and see that it's working, and they move here too. So we have this continuous kind of integration of new people. And I think in terms of integration, we're very good at doing that as a city. I think we're very welcoming, and I think we're very open, and I think we celebrate our diversity in the right way.